In this week's episode, let's try and understand how Revanth Reddy's elevation as Telangana Pradesh Congress Committee President will change the political landscape in the state and how the equations within parties across the state are going to see a shift. Now, it is an undeniable fact that Telangana is synonymous with K. Chandrasekhar Rao, its chief minister. As someone who has led the Telangana movement from the forefront, KCR enjoys his position as a dominant leader in Telangana's political space. Not only that, but he's also very cleverly pitched the Telangana sentiment every time to his voters at a time when he felt that the sentiment may be fading. Despite having been supported by other key leaders from different regions, he still enjoys his place in the state's political space. But following bifurcation, Telangana, though is dominated by KCR's family, it still saw the rise of a few firebrand leaders across the board. It is important to note that the rise of TRS and KCR's family simultaneously happened as Telangana's TDP started fragmenting, meaning most of the leaders from TDP had jumped into TRS or other parties like the Congress and the BJP, and the TDP's clout started slowly fading away. Now, it is understandable that KCR clearly gets the pulse of the people of his state, and he also has great oratory skills to prove his dynamism to his people. But another kid on the block who has proved his mettle in Telangana as a leader who has constantly opposed the TRS government and the misdeeds of the government is Revanth Reddy. As someone who has been extremely vocal against TRS and KCR's family and their wrongdoings, as well as pitched himself as a capable leader, Revanth Reddy's elevation in the Telangana Congress seems like there is hope, in fact, for an alternative leader as a CM candidate in the state. Now, here's a little background about Revanth Reddy. Revanth is someone who has his roots in the Telugu Desam party and has been maintaining good relations with his former colleagues. Cutting across political parties, Revanth Reddy is someone who enjoys great support of the masses and the youth. Additionally, his victory of Malkajgiri Lok Sabha seat also indicates that his popularity has been growing ever since. Interestingly, Revanth Reddy also enjoys support from the neighboring Andhra Pradesh and also is someone who is seen as the alternative candidate for CM in Telangana. But what is interesting about Revanth Reddy's elevation is the grand old party, Congress, which is led by Sonia Gandhi and now Rahul Gandhi. How did a party like that take a decision to make Revanth Reddy the head of Congress in Telangana? An important fact to note here is Telangana Congress or Congress party in general has leaders who assume themselves to be CM candidates. Now, this kind of internal rivalry within candidates and disorientation within the party in Telangana has actually caused the party to weaken in the state. But what is surprising amidst all of this is how did the Congress High Command choose a young leader like Revanth over the senior ones? More importantly, how did the Indian National Congress, which itself is in a leadership crisis at the central level and at the national level, bypass its own age-old philosophy and give chance to a young leader like Revanth Reddy? While it is indicative of a positive approach towards choosing the right CM candidates or the right face for the CM to lead its campaign in Telangana, the Congress party at the national level also has to pick the same route in order to survive. Now, as a young and dynamic TPCC president who is going to be the face of the party for the next elections in Telangana for the Congress, Revanth Reddy has his task cut out. First, he will have to win back the loyal vote bank of the TDP from the TRS and the BJP, which the Congress had lost following the bifurcation of state. Second, he will also directly challenge Sharmila, who is trying to look at the Reddy vote bank, given that he belongs to the community. Third, he will also have to appease many senior leaders within the Congress who are upset with the High Command's decision of his elevation. Fourth, he will also have to look at a great political strategy to pitch himself as the alternative to KCR in Telangana and also use the sentiment in his favor. Not only that, but he will also have to give a very tough fight to the BJP, which is thinking that the Lotus is the opposition in Telangana. While each party could be having its own strategy given that there are 2 years for elections, it shouldn't be a surprise if Revanth Reddy will be pitched as the next CM candidate for Telangana against KCR's family. Thank you for watching this analysis. If you liked it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.